So you kind of set it up there already, but coming back to Fort Wayne, announcing the return of this camp, put it into words what that means to you to be able to come back and give back to this community.
Well, first, I'm glad I'm still alive to do something like that. But when I got done coaching, forcefully got done coaching from John Gruden. Thank you, John. But I was just trying to figure out what am I going to do? Where do I go? And I'm like, okay, let's just go back to what you do, what you love, the grassroots efforts of playing football and teaching it in a different manner. So I just came up with this whole philosophy, how we're going to do it, and hopefully it gets an opportunity to change some lives here in Fort Wayne.
Any reason in particular to bring it back?
Well, I mean, every other city is an NFL city. But like I said, I'm not going to go to Indiana and go to Indy. That's not my hometown. My hometown is right up the road, so I got to do it in the Fort. So, to come back here, to bring it back here where so many players, when I did have my camp, came through when they were younger, who got to play in the pros. So hopefully we can give back that same opportunity for young kids who I know the number of participants in youth football around here has been dwindling. And hopefully we can educate the parents the right way. It's all about education to feel comfortable so they can move forward with their kids' choices. And that's all it's about.
What impact have you seen on youth football caused by the pandemic personally?
Well, it's just a lot of kids missed out a junior year or a sophomore year or a senior year. It's unfortunate. A lot of those kids don't get that back. NCAA, some of those kids get it back, but then next year after that, they're going back to the regular, number of scholarships they can give out and have on the roster. So it's been a difficult time for everybody, not just football players, but I just think for me and personally, thinking about how they didn't have the opportunity to fulfill a certain year in their eligibility is a little disappointing.
Rod, how different will this camp be than the one in the mid-'90s to mid-2000s?
More until. So our youth camp is going to be, we're just going to come in, do our individual drills, have lunch, talk to the kids about schooling, doing everything the right way. They'll go back out. We'll pair them up with flag teams, and they'll play flag football. High school is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more entailed to what they'll do if they did play college football. We're going to have a mini combine for them to start out with on the first day. Then after that, we're going to have classroom study. We're going to implement and do an install period in the classroom. Then we'll come out and do our individual drills, our defensive line will go against 1-on-1s, 2-on-3s, 5-on-4. Then we'll have our 1-on-1s, 7-on-7s, and then at the end of the day, we'll come together as 11-on-11 and move the ball. Like exactly what they do in college. That's what they do in the pros. So we'll teach them how they have to get something in their brain, how they have to install something, and then go right out on the field and to apply that to what we just talked about.
Your aim is to bring back who you want to bring in. I know you got some old friends from back in the day and some current ones. How are you going to mix it up?
Well, you're talking about coaches.
Yeah.
Well, the coaches are going to be a lot of different people, but I mean, the main guy who's kind of the head of our coaching staff is a guy named Chuck Bresnahan, who I played for when I was an Oakland Raider. He was the defense coordinator, and then when I came back as a coach, he was my defense coordinator. But he's coached for 35 years, 40 years, from college to the pros. He kind of brings all our guys in, but here in Fort Wayne, our main goal is to get all the guys who have played currently in the National Football League, who are retired players in the National Football League, all come back together at the same time, which we've never done, and to give back to the kids all at once. I know Jalen does some stuff, I know Jesse does some stuff, but do it all together and do it with the bigger purpose. And I think doing that and giving that back to the local community and the kids is what we're trying to do. And hopefully that can spark something in one of the kids' belief system and give them hope about a different life. And if it's in football, that's great. But if it's just being a better son, a better brother, a better leader, that's what it's all about.
Do you find that kids, they perform differently when they're performing for someone like yourself and other professional athletes, that they kind of want to show you their best?
I hope not. I hope they're competitors because they want to be a competitor. I mean, I didn't go to any camps when I was a kid. We didn't have any camps when I was a kid, but I was a competitor. I probably was a competitor because I had two older brothers and they beat me up. But, hopefully, they will perform just for me like they would do their coaches. Our thing is we just want to get the kids to understand they have a purpose. They can learn football. We're going to teach it the right way. We're going to try to change their lives one athlete at a time, one clinic at a time. And hopefully in 3 years, from a freshman year to a senior year, you'll see a different athlete and a different person.
For you to partner with PAL to an organization that obviously meant so much for you growing up, just what does that mean?
Well, it's always good to come back. I mean, and, where I started so many years ago, I don't even know what year it was when I started at PAL. I was 9, I know that. But, to come back here and, doing a 360 and giving back and saying I'm going to redo another camp is, something that I never really thought about. And I didn't think I was going to do this again until, 8 months ago. But I'm fully invested. And another thing that's different than our camp this time around is that we have a speed coach that's coming in. We have a recruiter that's coming in who grades the kids out. We have a nutritionist that comes in. We do social media outbreaks with the kids, the do's and don'ts on social media. The recruiter also talks about NCAA qualifications, going into Westinghouse, when to do it, when not to do it, how you need to. The grade point average when I came out has absolutely changed today. So instead of being a 2.0, you have to have a 2.5 to get a scholarship. So to have all that information in front of them on a daily basis, hopefully that'll change their mindsets of what they want to do in their lives. Same thing for the girls. I'm hoping that the girls will come out and play a little ball. We're not playing tackle football like the old camp was. It's just instructing everybody to do everything the right way. And if we can do that, I think we'll have a successful camp.
How many kids are you looking forward to getting in, and is there going to be
Many as we can.
Well, you got a good idea what's a good working number?
Our baseline is 250, but we're not going to turn kids away. We never did. We didn't do it to the last camp. It really depends on our donations. If our break-even number, we have a break-even number. We want that break-even number. If we can get that break-even number, the youth kids won't pay anything. It'll be free. The high schoolers, we'll make them pay a little something because we think if they pay something, they'll be more vested. Normally when they get stuff for free, they're kind of a little lax at times. I know that because I was one of those kids one time. So, we'll have them. We don't have the exact amount of money that we'll have them pay. It really depends on our donations that we get in.
Where are you going to do it? Your location?
We're talking to a couple different, we're obviously talking to Snyder. That would be my main goal to be there because I went to school there. But we're talking to St. Francis. We're looking at Homestead. We're going to talk to them. So it's a couple of different spots. My dream world, my perfect world would be back at Snyder, where I kind of started the whole thing years ago, because we do have lane across the street, but it really depends on how everything comes together.